never really get his feet under it.
Well, confirmation that Nick Itkin wins the first semi-final 15-7. No rest for the wicked, though. It's time for the second semi-final, and it's Hong Kong surprise package. Choi Chun Yin Ryan, the world number 54 at 21 years old from Hong Kong, takes on the world number 1, the 29-year-old world champion from Italy, Alessio Focconi. Great. Well, you saw some interesting fights today. Choi taking out Richard Cruz, who won this tournament last year in the round of 32. Perhaps also then sort of had a bit of an easy ride. Chen Haiwei, who's had form previously, seems to be returning to some of that form, but it was a comfortable win for Choi in the 16, and then he came from behind against Cherry Misanov in the quarterfinals to come through to this semi-final when he was 14-11 down. So a really great comeback from the guy from Hong Kong, and perhaps a bit of an unknown factor for Alessio Focconi.
Well, we've known, I mean, he was in the Youth Olympics when he was 17 in Nanjing, got a medal there. So he's been around for a while, and he's one of the, you know, Hong Kong's squad. There's two of them that really, he and the other young man that's been really doing a tremendous job. And so really they're trying to qualify for the Olympics. And I think that this is going to be a very interesting match, because Choi is kind of a little bit unorthodox. He looks like he's normal and all of a sudden does some crazy action, but it's actually see, like that, look at that lean over. So he'll surprise you. Foconi, of course, the veteran, has been fencing so consistent all year round.
Calling a veteran, he's 29.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny because he's emerged from the shadow of Avila, Baldini,
Cassara,
and he's come through, and he's now the top dog. He's Garotto also coming
consistent,
through.
yeah. He's been consistently the top dog, but the upstarts, looks like the young upstarts seem to have their day today, because he was born in 1997, and of course Nick Itkin 1999. Whereas Foconi is 10 years older, 1989.
But coming into the prime of his career.
Absolutely.
And it's different for different countries, isn't it? We've seen the Italians mature later in football than perhaps the USA, who tend to have have a bit more of a collegiate-based program.
Right. Well, the difference is that a lot of our fencers, you know, kind of like, they're not professional fencers, whereas they are the Carabinieri, Aeronautica, all these sort of semi,
yeah, the police in the forces or the forestry commission.
Correct.
As well.
And they have a very strong active sports program. So as a consequence, they stay in the game much longer. Our guys, you know, we have to be better earlier to be successful. But you know, the interesting thing of Hong Kong, we talk about Hong Kong 10 years ago or longer was like nobody. It was literally, who knew of Hong Kong, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden now, it's like they came second as the last team event, shocked Italy, shocked, you know, beat China, which is another one, that was the big brother, you know, and only lost to us in the gold medal match. So really doing some good stuff, and that's also Greg Koenig, the French coach, who's actually coaching. See, there it is, that lean over. When you least expect it, he's ready to pop it out there.
Yeah, and Choi in a team with Chung Kar Long, who's the other star on the Hong Kong team. But yes, to pick up that medal at the last World Cup is quite phenomenal. And puts them in a very strong position for Olympic qualification.
Which from Asia is really, really tough, because Koreans are so strong.
Olympic qualifying period began in April. This is the second foil tournament of that qualification period. It will run for a year, so very early days. getting a good start is crucial, especially for the unfavoured countries.
Right, because those, and especially with the Grand Prix points, those who don't qualify a team, it makes a big difference for them to qualify, to get a lot of points. Like, this is a huge win.
Yeah, whatever happens here, Choi's points are going to go through the roof.
Correct. He'll probably close to double his points, depending how well he does here.
He's sitting at number 54 in the world.
How many points does he have? See, too many, he's going to go back, he's too much, he's going to get nailed eventually.
So Foconi just finding his way into this one here.
Foconi, you never underestimate. Look at that. He steps in and makes a little counterattack of his own.
This is a little Foconi trademark as well. Finishing the attack and then very quickly turning
the body and stepping in.
And a different way to most other people. Most other people will turn the body away. He turns it around for a right-hander against a lefty. You'd think that would be a little bit dangerous, but it's such a surprise that no one's expecting it.
Yeah, you know, Garrick lost to him a very close match. He came back against Garrick. Garrick controlling the entire match until the very end, unfortunately. But you know, he's definitely one of those, you know, veterans of the game right now.
And he's a lovely guy as well. He's a really competitive guy, but I mean, he wears his heart on his sleeve for sure. But he's such a gent.
See, but Choi is doing a wonderful. See, again, it's the young athleticism, which is what, you know, he's arguing that he's kind of, you know, his mask is covering. See that?
Well, is it? It is like.
Well, see, I always feel like that, but they say, well, you know, so long as you're not looking up. Anyway, this is something I will generally disagree, and I think if you're going to make it, basically people are using their masks as a shield. But they say, well, you know, he's not really covering his head down. Well, there's no target there, okay?
Move the target, but how is that any different to someone turning their body away?
Exactly.
The argument could continue for well, ad infinitum, Greg, I think, on that one. But I'm with you. I kind of see what you're saying about it. But it's not ducking, that's for sure. Ducking the head, leaning it forwards, that's a lovely stop.
Lovely stop hit. He loves that. He is this sort of gambler. You know, he does this, that, and also does something completely different. Something completely unexpected. I mean, that's his whole modus operandi. Boom, there he goes again. He loves that lean over. See?
And I mean, even though there's complaint from Foconi here.
No, but now, see, they give him a red card. See, he got a red card, so Foconi got a point.
So this time it was considered covering target. Moving the mask over the valid target area is a penalty. He received a yellow card for the first instance. Any further infringements, whether it's covering or anything else, means a red card and a point for Foconi. They tapped their blades to conclude the first period, and well, if anyone's going to be happier, you've got to say it's the athlete from Hong Kong, China, who's level with the world champion and world number one. Foconi looking a little frustrated.
That's correct, but don't forget, he was down and he came back up. So in many ways, the momentum is on his side right now. But I don't think that's going to bother Choi. He's going to like play into this game. The thing that mostly is going to hurt Choi is the fact that now they're calling this lean over thing with the mask as a penalty. So therefore, that's going to take a big chunk because he's done this several times. Let's see if it happens here. See that lean over action? He's getting one light on. And so, no, this is different actions.
That's
earlier.
Attack,
yeah.
Foconi.
But let's see if we can see one of those. Nice attack again. But
and for me, Greg, I would say, look, why not get rid of this problem by attacking him, by taking the fight to Choi?
Well, the thing is that he's taking it to him. But see, he's making that lean over. So all of a sudden, the body comes over, and then the mask is in front of your direction of going to the target. So if that's not covering the target, I don't know what is. I mean,
well, the referee agrees with you. He's
well,
given
that's why
two penalties.
he's got 2 penalties. But this is one of this gray area that has some referees this way, some referees a little bit that way. So I'd like to see a little more consistency sometimes.
Well, this time the preparation from CHOI Foconi.
This is something that, you know, I think is in the current game. Now, see, now he's forcing it. It's where Foconi, the veteran, moves. Don't forget, CHOI is born in 1997, and Foconi is in 1989. So there's a big difference in age and maturity in the game. 8-7 now. This Foconi is sort of like saying, okay, let's see what goes on. I caught up a little bit. Let's see what you can do against me, you know? Because many of these touches happened with Foconi attacking. So now he's like playing a little bit of a game, putting pressure, let CHOI come out, and then try to defend off of it a little bit. Pushing him, and he wants CHOI to attack him, and he wait for him, provoking. See, and then all of a sudden, then he went too soon, and then he pulls out this other move and counterattacks, and it's hard to hit sometimes.
I've got a lovely view there of a couple of young fencers who have been they've been having competitions throughout the week here in Shanghai, and in fact the youngsters managed to get their moment in the spotlight all day today as they had the finals here at the Westgate Shopping Mall as we were concluding the qualification for the semi-finals at the
correct.
Jian Sports Centre.
I mean, they've a nice, lovely setup here, so why not take advantage of the opportunity? So it's good for the young. See, this is now Foconi is now starting to kind of establish himself a little bit more. Even the score is still quite close. And if you think about it, if it wasn't for that red card, the touch was annulled, and also was given, the score had been tied up.
Coach shouting at CHOI to believe in himself. He pulled out of that attack though.
But you see, Foconi's just waiting for him now. He's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Because otherwise, you know, he's got to chase him down. Takes a lot more energy. Here, he can sort of wait for him to expend his energy, and then he can then capitalize at the right moment, take advantage, and pick up a nice pair of reposts and score. Yeah. Or step in. But with him, he's taking the blade a little bit more because I think if he had just counterattacked, he probably could hit.
Foconi, 3 points ahead now. He got a silver medal at this competition in 2017. He's won Grand Prix, the Turin Grand Prix in 2016. But he's been here in Shanghai 3 times on the podium. I know he wants a gold medal from this competition.
And all those World Cup points that come with it.
Well, yeah, there is that. Tries to step in on the counter, but looked to me like it was still the right way for CHOI referee deciding to come and have a look at the video on this occasion.
Because he tried to close out and he didn't. He just got nicked on the arm and on the way in.
Referee agrees. Attack Lambalade. The language of fencing is French, so not valuable, not on the target.
He's just looking at, see, all this is just giving himself a little time to think, to get ready in action. So now Foconi's ready. See?
Lovely.
See, he did all that little test of this just to give himself a little time to think about what he needed to do. And sure enough, there he was ready and set to go. He's just going to let him come at him. No. Yeah. Well, we'll see about this one. Oops, the guy didn't catch it. There's no video on this one. The video camera was derelict. Sometimes the person moving the camera didn't follow.
Well,
you see it on our thing, but on the actual official.
Yeah, on the
couldn't
referee's
see.
camera, yeah, they couldn't see, but we got the
Yes.
TV replay of that.
So the call stands basically. Is what I'm trying to say. But no touch.
Well, again, Choi racing out of the blocks. He gets a thumbs up from his coach. He's coach is happy with this
Yeah, of
pressing
course.
approach.
This is the best he's ever fenced.
Lots of blade movement as the compact Foconi tries to keep the blade up in the air and out of the way. Pressing again, trying to tease Choi into making some kind of action that he can work off. There's a big cheer from the crowd here who are all behind Choi, but it was after the halt from the referee. You see the leap in the air there.
He likes that kind of jump. We saw him a couple of weeks ago when he was doing it, when he was fencing in the gold medal match. So like leaping lizards. Let's see what's going on now. So Foconi's just willing. He doesn't want to expend too much energy. And there he is. He can gamble. See, steps in that counterattack as he did before. Getting closer to that finish line. Now, I'm not sure what they're looking for, but it looks like action occurs, makes an attack. Very clear touch. I'm not sure what he was checking for. Anyway, we're back in the action here.
Yeah, this
Foconi's
is
in control.
This is for a place in the gold medal match against American Nick Itkin. And Alessio Focconi's just starting to take a grip of this. Choi now staring down the barrel of a gun here in the second men's semi-final. There's been a little bit of a technical issue here with a white light on the box. Focconi a bit frustrated. Sometimes he looks like he's more frustrated than he fences.
He's in control, let me tell you. He's inside. He's definitely in control. Definitely a control fencer.
Bit of brinkmanship from the Italian.
Oh, simple, clean. Like I said, using the energy that comes against him, against his opponent. Doesn't want to waste too much energy.
Just picking the time to go for that beat attack.
Choi get attacked, but you know, except unless there's some major difference. I think the call will stand here. I'm not sure that it's going to make any difference.
Yeah, it looks like a simple beat attack to me, and it does get to double figures. Sometimes that's a bit of a boost for the confidence.
Right.
Still looking for that beat action.
Oh, lovely attack.
I don't think he meant that.
Oops, he hit him in the mask. That's what happened. He hit him in the mask. But the touch will stand because that's the fencer's personal equipment. And so when it's your own equipment, that's your problem.
Yeah, and you
now
noticed.
they're going to go for a new mask.
Yeah, you
so we've got a few minutes here, actually.
Yeah, Foconi there wiping his face down because as the sweat builds up in the mask, it can aid the conductive nature of the part of the mask that should be off target.
Now let's see, they got a new mask on him.
There's another one coming out now. The coach is standing at the other end of the piece
with
the spare mask. Foconi seems to be content to carry on with the one he's got. But that's coming up with a red light. He needs to change that.
He's going to change it, but now they have to replace the lights. They have to do the whole thing. So we're going to have a few minutes here until we get things reset and get a chance to, like I said, this kind of a break only helps Choi a little bit because he had been doing so well. And now all of a sudden, he has a chance to rethink what he needs to do and, you know, and be able to run off 4 or 5 touches.
Yeah, but the Italian coach is
Fabio Galli, the
chatting
coach,
away.
yeah, he's of course telling him to stay focused. It's only one touch. We'll get you a mask. Don't worry, stay focused. and you know, he's also rubbing his head so that, you know, trying to take some of the sweat off, so that when the new mask comes on, he doesn't get that same situation happen again.
Up, yeah.
Right.
And will someone be out the back there with the old mask now, giving that the old hairdryer treatment and trying to dry it off?
I don't think so. I don't think he's going to use that mask the rest of the tournament. Or maybe, possibly, unusual. I mean, you know, so right now he's just, like I said, it's going to take a few minutes to get the lights reinstalled into the wireless system for the mask.
Yeah, the lights are as you say, part of this wireless system that we use now. And it's in fact the main scoring part of the apparatus, and all these other fancy screens and stuff around the field of play are actually what we call repeaters. They're taking the signal from that box in the mask.
The mask light, which is on the mask that comes on, that's the most critical thing. So sometimes a repeater or one of the other lights doesn't come on. The one that counts is the one that's on the mask. So it's actually very important. That's why it takes a little longer to make it happen. Choi's thinking what he needs to do. You know, it's 14-11, so, you know, if you make a solid run at something.
And a couple of free hits as well on the way to that 11.
Yeah, but forget what's in the past. You look at what's going future. And, you know, you fence a 5-touch bout. If you win 4-0, you got the gold. Yeah. So it's, you know, it's in his hands. We'll see how it sort of all unfolds.
So if you're wondering what's going on, we're in the second semi-final of the men's foil competition here at the Shanghai Grand Prix, the last ranking tournament of the regular season before these fencers head into the zonal championships and then the world championships in July in Budapest. And it's Choi, Chun, Yin, Ryan of Chinese Hong Kong.
There we go.
He's 11-14 down against Alessio Foconi of Italy. As Greg Macialis, the head coach of the men's foil program in the USA, says Foconi's got himself a new mask. We don't know whether he uses the old one if he continues in this competition, because the old one is all black.
Right, it'll be easy to stand out. Let's see what goes on here.
Back to get underway. Target score 15 points. Foconi just one away from the gold medal here in Shanghai. Chasing Choi down the piece, goes for a circus move, flick to shoulder, and Foconi is into the Shanghai Grand Prix final for the second time in 3 years, and he will face Nick Itkin of the USA. Fabulous performance all day from Choi, but ultimately the world champion and world #1 was just too good. Foconi wins 15-11.
And that last touch was tremendous. He just literally chased him down from one end of the strip to practically the other end, and then put the light on. So that bodes well for what he's fencing, but I think Nick Itkin has some surprises up his sleeve. I remember Nick beat Foconi 15-14 a little more than a year ago in Cairo. And so we'll see what happens.